Attention! Please be advised. The following episode contains spoilers. Don't say we didn't warn you.
Damn, you vetoed at the end.
Yeah. Hey, kid.
No.
You want to bang some whores?
No.
No.
That's not the same movie.
His character from
Always Sunny?
Sunny.
Whores.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Nerd On, the podcast you didn't need, but you deserve, and where all levels of nerd are welcome.
Yeah.
All
Even
of
if your dad's a Pokemon.
them. Wow, spoiler much.
Spoilers.
We had it at the beginning.
That's fair.
We have an entire spoiler warning. Don't
Yep.
say we didn't warn you.
Yep.
Mhm.
Oh,
Wrong spoiler.
We're bleeping that one out.
Wrong spoiler.
Refer back
warning.
to our
Yeah.
Endgame episode.
I'm 100% bleeping that out.
Yeah, that can't stay.
That's fucked up,
That
dude.
can't stay.
Today, we strive to be the very best, like no one ever was in the video game movie adaptation world, based on the worldwide phenomenon that is Pokemon, with Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
I feel strongly.
You feel strongly?
I feel strongly.
That's good.
We got to squeal. So yeah, our host, I am Josh,
I'm Caitlin.
I'm Corey.
I'm Tom.
Ali.
and this episode is brought to you in part by our patrons over at Patreon.
Patreon.
If you are new to Patreon, Patreon is a membership service in which you get goodies for supporting your favorite creators like Nerd On. You can get Discord server, which is hopping all the time, and we talk about anything from comics to food porn now.
So much food porn.
A lot of food porn. But yeah, check out nerdon.io/Patreon to get all the details.
Yeah.
Do
That's
that
good.
thing.
That's really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Well
Yeah.
done.
You feel good about that?
Yeah.
I almost felt like doing like
All right, I feel complete.
the Disney ears thing with the Disney Channel thing.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so
with
that
Pikachu
brings
ears.
us to our first segment. And Tom always explains it, except for that one time.
Oh,
So
boy.
this is a complete film. It's done. So we're going to rate it at the end. And what that means, we're going to
Guess that grump.
Sometimes your dad will raise you, and sometimes
No.
he electrocutes you.
give him the Thunderstone. So Guess That Grump is a segment of our show where we're going to rate it at 1 out of 5, and one being the lowest and 5 being the highest. And whoever's rating is the lowest in the group is the Grump of the week. Everyone at home play along and send us the numbers that you thought of the film, and then also who you think was going to be the Grump.
Yeah.
So
Since you always
I'm
explain it.
going to think that Josh is going to be it.
Ooh.
You looked straight at Corey and said Josh.
He did.
Everyone
that all the
comments
time.
on that every single time. It's like I could look at the wall and say like someone's name.
And we will comment on it every time.
Josh, who's your guess?
I'm sorry. It's not because you're the C on the Scantron, but I think
It's
Ollie,
okay. You can pick me.
Ollie is going to be the... It's,
I have a harsher scale.
I also
do.
pick Ollie.
I have a harsh on for you.
Ollie, who do you pick?
Myself. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna pick.
Are you writing down who's picking?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Caitlin.
wow.
Bad idea.
J'accuse.
Wow.
That's true.
So
You're
one on
very
Josh,
generous.
one on Caitlin, one on Ollie.
2 on Ollie.
I'll pick Josh.
Okay, 2 on Ollie, 2 on Josh, 1 on Caitlin. None on Corey and Tom. So you heard that first here, folks. Fucking
Where are we
send
pointing?
that. I don't know. Saying it, pointing it everywhere. Into the ether.
So the logical next step is to go into the spoilers.
Yes, but before we do that, make sure you write down who you thought the Grump was, share it with us, all that good stuff. Send it in.
Sip and slide, throw a Pokeball.
Yeah.
All
that
that
good stuff.
explode. Throw me a bone. And so first initial reaction spoilers.
Wow. All right. So I almost cried when
Yeah?
it started.
Like right from the very first. Like,
Yeah, like seeing just everything come together all at once. There were just Pokemon naturally in the world, and the music, the combination of like the movie music with like that 8-bit sound.
Well, they have like a
was
little
just,
synthy thing going
yeah,
on.
yeah. What it was just all of it was like
Amazing.
great and wonderful.
It's everything you've ever imagined.
Pretty much,
In a weird
yeah.
way, when you're
Yeah.
talking about that music stuff and you kind of seeing the world, it kind of reminded me of like the same vibe I got from seeing, what's that shitty place that everyone lives in, Ready Player One?
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Where it's like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
that
yeah.
same kind
Slums,
of
kind of
the
the
stacks.
stacks.
track and all that stuff where it's like, it's a video game.
Good memory, Ellie.
yeah.
Good job.
But it was like I felt all of my childhood rolling up all into a little burrito and then like finally getting to
The
take
most
a bite
amazing
of that
burrito ever.
delicious burrito. I don't know why I
like
needed that visual, but there
I mean,
it is.
honestly, seeing
Why
the
not?
Pokemon in the world was like, I was 5 again,
Mm-hmm.
seeing how well they. First of all, the designs on this
It's about
are
how
really good.
they adapted it.
The designs of all the Pokemon are just exactly how I pictured them if they were to come to life and be
Yeah.
in the real world. That first scene with the Cubone, I was just like, oh, okay, we're in this.
This is what we're
in
doing.
this. When he hands him that Pokeball,
Oh my god.
The noises,
and it lights
the
up.
lights.
It looks
Yeah.
real good.
Oh, it was so
Okay.
good.
and then going into the city and seeing them interact with people and what kind of professions the different Pokemon would have, and like seeing a Machamp being a traffic cop and shit like that because he could probably lift up a car if he needed
Oh
to.
my God.
And so it was really, really endearing. And I thought, my wife and I talked about this before, and we were like on the fence about Ryan Reynolds playing it, and I liked it.
He was
but I
on the
like,
fence of playing it.
but I was like, but it's just Ryan Reynolds. Is it going to work? And by the end of the movie, I was like, I forgot about it within the first 5 minutes. I was like, oh, this works. This works just fine.
Yeah.
Because it's written really well.
Especially once you find out why. Like,
And
it
so,
works better, I think.
I had a great time.
It was wonderful.
Nice.
So I saw it early. I saw the leaked movie that Ryan Reynolds leaked.
Oh my god.
I was like,
I
what?
was so fooled right up until that point.
Everyone at home, check
How's the
that out.
dancing?
Yeah, it was on Instagram. He posted up, and Warner Brothers put it on their own YouTube channel.
What is
cool.
it?
It's just literally a mock-up of the Jordan and Key Peele dance that they do in their show.
Their
Oh,
dancer
yeah, I saw
size,
that.
whatever.
And that's what it is. And it's just like that for an entire hour and
Like
1
45
minute.
minutes.
Oh,
I think he actually tweeted at Ryan Reynolds cease and desist.
oh, nice.
Yeah, it was really cool. So, but yeah, I mean, funny enough, this isn't the first Pokemon movie I've ever seen.
No.
And
Correct,
so,
it isn't?
I mean,
Pokemon
live
2000?
action,
yeah, we have all these all these fucking Pokemon,
about the Pokemon 1
cards
movie.
here. Yeah, and
Baby, in theaters. What?
so the one thing I really really liked about what the Pokemon Company did, along with Legendary and Warner Brothers, Legendary is only in that IP game now. They don't give a shit about original properties. Is that they gave out these cards. They gave out these little cards, which was when you went to see
first
the
movie.
first movie.
Ancient Mew.
So for the fans that have been around
And the
for
Mewtwo and
the
the
last
Pikachu.
25 years, they really appreciate.
I remember
this.
getting this. I think I actually had 2 of them,
Oh my god.
like sneakily
Like
managed
Tom
to
does?
get 2, like he does.
Yeah.
You'd probably traded for the other one though, right?
I don't know. I just amassed things. But yeah, and then watching the movie afterwards, like, it's cool because it's based off a video game, which, I don't think got a lot of great reviews anyways, but it's like, it kind of doesn't matter. It kind of goes beyond.
Oh, the Detective Pikachu game. I was
Yeah.
like, Pokemon did fine.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
It goes beyond the Detective Pikachu game into more of the imagine a world with Pokemon. And I liked the ideology of Rhyme City, the ideology of harmony between animals and humans.
Yeah.
And it's a huge conservation piece that I felt like was really poignant. And it's kind of like if you can't seem to find reasons to take care of Pokemon, then that's why we're not taking care of the Earth.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I really enjoyed it for what it was. And again, it's a PG caper. It's
Yeah.
a PG Chinatown. So if you like that, if that anything those excite you, then you love this movie too.
Yeah. I'll leave Josh.
Yeah, I went in with like pretty high expectations. I really liked the way things looked on screen, like the way they brought Pikachu into the world, the way they brought the other Pokemon that they teased off.
I can already tell
I
it
thought
has
those were
higher
really
marks for
cool.
you then.
What?
Looks good. Ollie likes it.
Yeah, I mean, it looked phenomenal, and that's what I remember
Music
from the trailer.
swelling, no Batman.
And then the movie delivers on all that stuff.
Mewtwo
Takes
looked
me back
great.
to when I was a kid. Mewtwo looked awesome. Pikachu looked fantastic.
Yeah. Pikachu looked the best for sure.
Like all the Pokemon, I don't think there was a single Pokemon that looked off or weird.
No.
Lickitung looked great.
Lickitung looked a little too good.
I can't tell if you like that or don't
no,
like
it was,
that.
It was dipping into
for me,
nightmare.
he looked a little too good. You know what I'm saying?
Where can I get some of that action?
Corey and I have different interests, but no, I had a really good time in it. It was a fun ride, and it was just me and my childhood. I just wish I had like my Pokemon. Like if I was like 10 years younger, I would have my Switch with me, or
You'd
DS,
be 30 years
whatever.
old, right?
Or yeah, I guess.
Wow.
I guess I'd have to be like 18 years younger. Then I would have my like. Probably even more than that. God damn it, I'm old. Let's just call it even 20.
How's your back feel?
Yeah, right. I would have my case of cards with me, and I don't know. I'd be a dork about it, but
No, you'd be a
back
nerd.
hurts.
it was
and you'd be welcome.
yes.
Oh.
Thank you.
You can do that now.
levels.
No one's going to judge you.
Nobody.
Josh?
Yeah.
Or sorry, Ollie. Go
No,
ahead.
but yeah, it was great. I loved it.
Joshua?
Are you done, Ollie?
Yes.
No, I'm just
Shut
kidding.
up,
For
Ollie.
now.
For now. According to Corey, I'm done.
Yeah, I was really excited about it. I mean, as I've mentioned before, I was a Digimon kid.
You weren't a Pokemon.
Yeah, that's what
I was a I was not
You were a
Pokemon.
Digiman.
But I'm there with
I
you.
was
I
a
was a
Digiman.
Digimon, man.
And so Pokemon I didn't really get into really at all. All my friends had the cards. All my friends did that. And for some reason, I just got way more into Digimon.
Could you name any of the a lot of these?
Yeah, I mean, I could.
Without,
I mean,
just curious.
You can
I
name
couldn't
this
try
one.
to
gauge your level.
You can name this one to the thickness.
Buggy Boy, Waterman,
yeah,
For those in the
Pinky
audio.
Puff.
Swirly
Think of the
Pikachu.
Charizard.
Yeah.
Swirly Frog.
Pooch and Hacker
Yeah.
Fucker.
Oh my god.
Weird
Oh,
Roo.
no.
Weird
Yeah.
Roo, Small Mouse.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Peekaboo.
So I was going into it
Lots
just
of
kind
tails. Sorry, I'm done.
of box with many tails.
Yes.
I was going into
Before you're done.
I'm done.
No, keep going.
I was going into it kind of a blank slate, so to speak. Just
Okay.
kind of like, okay,
Tabula rasa.
it's 2019, what they can do. I mean, seeing the trailers, I was already kind of excited because when you have a video game movie that is also, you have an animation, you have all this kind of, all these products from it, you're wondering, okay, how are they going to do this? How are the Pokemons going to look? And I was like, really like, wow. I didn't have I know that some people on the internet like where, ew, they don't look that great or they look creepy. I was like, wow, this looks great.
Everyone on the internet, remember Ray William Johnson, Pokemon in Real Life, the YouTube video that went viral.
Yeah.
This movie stands on the shoulders of those ugly looking Pokemon. So just keep
100%
that
it does.
in mind. We could have gotten that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we would have all been like upset.
Yeah.
So I thought it was fun. It was
Gotta go
really
fast.
cool from the very
fix
beginning
fast.
scene of him. It was so cool to like get into the hunt, so
Uh-huh.
to speak, and the hilarity that ensues, and like it was it was fun.
Oh,
fun.
and a little side note, just because I heard it happen. Pokemon, even in plural, there's no S on any of their names. Like if there's multiple Pikachu, it's just Pikachu,
Pikachu.
like a bunch of Pikachu.
Look at all those Pikachu over there.
Look at all
Yeah?
the
Yeah,
thickens.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Yeah,
I,
so
I
all
think
those
already
blank.
plural. Yeah.
I think in the movie he actually says the Greninjas were released or something, and he was supposed to say Greninja because they like fix it later. Anyway,
Oh.
side note.
Gotta fix fast.
You just went.
It's a basilisk.
It's Basilisk.
It's a basilisk.
Yeah.
It's a basilisk.
Helga.
So
with that, we go into a little bit of a
Brief synopsis.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna try to make this as brief as we can.
We got a lot.
Say
so
the words really fast.
essentially, something happens and Mewtwo blows up a car, we think, and then fast forward in time. We are with
It's like the next day.
we are with Tim and his friend. His friend is trying to get him to catch a Cubone because Tim has given up on his dream of being a Pokemon trainer as he once wanted to be, and is now a insurance consultant, moving up the ladder, 2 steps away from a senior insurance consultant.
His friend is Dupinder from Deadpool.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
And so he gets a call that his dad died. His estranged father has passed away. You come to find that he was a detective in a city called Rhyme City, a city that works with humans and Pokemon side by side.
Harmoniously.
Not as a trainer model kind of thing.
Shout to
So he goes there. You can tell he's kind of like, I don't really care. Didn't really know my dad. He kind of like abandoned me when I was young. My mom died, whatever. He wasn't there for me. I live with my grandma. I'm just here to get my shit and go. So he gets the keys from one of his dad's old coworkers.
Ken Watanabe.
Yep. Who's always good.
Asian Morgan
Always
Freeman.
good.
Let them fight.
And he goes out into Rhyme City. Pokemon ensues. He goes to his dad's house. He's looking through all his old stuff,
It
and then
does.
he hears someone. He meets a girl on the way up, who's a intern at CNM
Lucy Stevens.
with her Psyduck, and she's one of those like really aggressive news reporter people you read about in the books, like Nancy Drew.
I was going to
type.
say, it's Nancy Drew for kids.
Yeah,
Very much.
Very
it's
much.
just one of
Mary
those like,
Ashley
I'm gonna get
Olsen
to the bottom of
mysteries.
this. And so she's like, well, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this, but not now. I'm gonna go. So she leaves, and then he goes up there, and he's like in his room, his old room that his dad set up for him, and he was like, I'm never gonna live here, Dad. And then he hears someone in the house. He's like, what the hell is this? Oh no! So first of all, he snoops around and he finds that purple vial, and it smoke goes all
Really
over, and he puts it out the window, and he's like, what is this? And it gets on some Pokemon. And he's like, I'm not gonna worry about it. And then he hears someone in his house, and it's a Pikachu, and he can talk to the Pikachu. And then all of a sudden, what are they called?
Apom.
Apom are all aggressive, and they come in through the windows, and a chase ensues. And they jump down a
Garbage chute
on the side of a building,
He
and
loses
then
his pants.
they go back to normal, and they're just like, we're just friendly monkeys, and no one can believe them. So anyway, he's talking to this Pikachu, this Pikachu's drinking a bunch of coffee. Turns out that this Pikachu has amnesia, and he has a hat with his dad's name in it, Harry Goodman. Or sorry, yeah,
Harry Goodman.
Harry. And he was like, we got to go find your dad. One thing leads to another. They team up. They go to this club where they meet this guy who has this Charizard, and he sees him give him the R right before Pikachu's supposed to fight him. So this Charizard's going all fucking crazy, and he's like, I got this, no worries. Get me the hell out of here, kind of thing. A fight ensues, and the smoke goes everywhere, and all the Pokemon go ham. Magikarp evolves into Gyarados.
Gyarados was dope.
That was pretty cool.
So good.
And then the police arrest him, and he's like, I gotta find my dad. And they're like, don't find your dad. He's like, well, I'm gonna find him. So then they go and
They
they
say
meet
your dad's dead.
Nancy Drew. They show him a video of the car explosion. And he's like, no one could have survived that. Not
even your
and he was
dad.
like, but you don't even see it. Anyway, so he finds Nancy Drew, and she's like, we're gonna team up. We're gonna go to this site. I stole the key. No big deal. So they go to the site that is owned by Bill Nye's son, who you think is the villain, because Bill Nye is this guy who's created this town that's all prosperous and a visionary. And so they break in. There's some Greninjas and some Torterras.
You're hurting me.
And there's
It's fine, but
holographic
hurting me.
information about Mewtwo. And you find out that his dad was somehow involved. And he's like, why is my dad involved? And then the Greninja are released. A chase ensues.
The
and
Psyducks.
the world becomes Torterras. And then Psyduck has a headache that
Massive
blows him away.
Torterras.
Pikachu almost dies. And then a bunch of Bulbasaur are like, follow us. And Nancy Drew's like, I'm going to come. And the Bulbasaur are like, fuck off, just for him. So they take Pikachu and they put him on the rock, and Mewtwo comes. And Mewtwo heals Pikachu.
Yeah.
And they starts giving them a vision of what happened the night his dad died. But then he gets captured by Bill Nye's son. And when he runs to go tell, Pikachu's like, I'm a danger. I'm out of here. I betrayed your dad. I'll betray you too. So they break up, and it's really sad. And then, so Tim goes by himself to Bill Nye to tell on his son, be like, your son has Mewtwo. And he's like, bitch, I have Mewtwo. And he puts this neural transmitter on. It turns out the R
It's on Cerebro.
puts the Pokemon into a wild state into which you can transfer your consciousness
Mewtwo can.
inside them.
Mewtwo has the
Via
ability to.
Mewtwo.
Right. So he gets Mewtwo all crazy, then transfers his consciousness inside him, and now Bill Nye is Mewtwo. And it was fucking terrifying.
Minus the tentacles.
So he goes around town, and it turns out during this Pokemon parade, all the balloons are filled with this R gas. And so he pops them all. And all of a sudden, he starts transferring people into their Pokemon over and over.
You become
and
a
over.
Pokemon.
You're a Pokemon. You're
Look
a
underneath your
Pokemon.
seat.
You're a
You become a
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
And then Pikachu figures out what happened that night. He finds a Greninja star, and he's like, Mewtwo couldn't have blown up. He was trying to save his dad. So he runs back to town. Shit's going wild. Pokemon battles ensue.
Volt tackle, baby.
And you find out that Bill Nye's son was actually a Ditto. And it's probably the most terrifying part of the entire movie, seeing those beady little eyes.
is a nod
Yeah.
to the anime.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Super scary. So then he and the actual son fight this Ditto off, and ends up one way or another pulling the Cerebro off Bill Nye to bring Mewtwo back. Mewtwo catches Pikachu before
It falls and
it
splats.
falls. Yeah. And then at the end, Mewtwo's like, you did it. You saved the day. Your dad's been with you the whole time. And he looks at Pikachu.
Flashback.
And he's like, Dad? And it turns out somehow Mewtwo had put his dad inside the Pikachu. The Pikachu willingly was like, use me. I'll do it. So that's
Must
why he
bring
didn't have
the
any of his
sun.
memories. And then at the end of the movie, he's waiting at the train station, and Pikachu's there, and you hear, hey, kid. And then Ryan Reynolds steps into frame, and you're like, oh, it's his dad.
It's Deadpool.
And he was like, all right, well, have fun with your grandma. And they hug. And then the son's like, Tim's like, hey, can I stay with you? And he's like, I like that. And then they hug.
Dude, that was
And they
really good.
ride
I was
off into the
like,
sunset.
And then he's like, I think I want to be a detective, Dad. And he's like, cool. Pokemon!
that was really good. That was like
30
two-
seconds.
two seconds.
Wow.
Wow.
Dang.
How was that,
That was
guys?
good.
It's really good.
It was pretty good.
But yeah, so it's a lot of fun. It's a PG, again, like I said, it's a PG caper. So the third act is just everywhere.
It's the first Pokemon PG, correct?
The
I
other
believe
ones
I
have been
read.
G.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're all cartoons. They're all like little
So
kid cartoons.
serious. So serious. Now
so
we're
a
getting
little
the
bit of
G in there.
production, and then we go into the actual fruits and potatoes and
The fruits and potatoes.
Yeah, fruits and potatoes.
I
Baby.
love fruits and
I'll take it.
potatoes.
Distributed by WB, Legendary, and the Pokemon Company. Japanese distribution is Toho, as always. Director Rob Letterman started as a color and lighting supervisor on Lake Placid. I had to just put that in there.
Yes.
Debut directorial work was with Shark's Tale. Then later did Monsters vs. Aliens, and then Goosebumps recently.
I love Masters vs. Aliens.
Producer Mary
I haven't seen
Parent.
it. It's good.
Just everyone know this could be a abridged version. We're gonna just give the highlights and main people. The producer Mary Parent, who did Pleasantville, Yumi and Dupree. So she worked with the Russos. So she has a little bit of the The Kingdom, Role Models, Pacific Rim, an upcoming Godzilla film, and Beyblade. What the fuck?
She worked on Beyblade?
No, it's
Beyblade?
upcoming.
Oh,
Beyblade
There's
movie.
going to be a movie
There's
for
a fucking
Beyblade?
Everyone at home, Beyblade's tops at battle. They have spirits of like guardian
Let it
spirits.
rip.
What is this? Cartoon?
It's an anime cartoon.
An anime?
Sound like
Yeah.
my grandpa.
Kale Boyter, Hidanaga Katakami
gassy.
were also producers with Don McGowan. Screenplay with Dan Hernandez and Benji Samit, who both worked on TV shows such as 1600 Pen, One Day at a Time, and The Tick. Rob Letterman also helped along with the screenplay, the director, because he's a writer-director kind of dude. Derek Connolly, who did Safety Not Guaranteed, which is phenomenal. If you haven't
Yes,
watched
it is. Duplass.
Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom as well, and is doing the story for Jurassic World 3. So
Interesting.
Story by Dan Hernandez, who we just mentioned, and Benji Samit. Nicole Perlman, who wrote Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh.
Story by and did the story of Captain Marvel.
Nice.
Characters and Pokemon created by Satoshi Tajiri, Ken Sugimori. Kaylin, please correct me if I do this wrong. Junichi Masuda, Atsuko Nishida, Tomokazu Ohara, and Haruka. That's so bad.
Haruka Utsui.
Haruka Utsui. There you go.
We're so close.
I can get to it. And the cast. So the first off, we got the one
Yes,
that gave
please.
us it. I can't pronounce it. Go ahead, Caitlin.
Ikue Otani.
Who is Pikachu forever? Has been Pikachu
Forever. Forever and ever.
So we heard like Pikachu every
Happy
like,
Arbor Day.
two times. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's the original voice
That
of Pikachu.
original, adorable,
Woman.
high-pitched voice.
Ryan Reynolds, obviously, and we talk about Ryan Reynolds a lot this year, and so we're
Yeah.
gonna talk about his upcoming movies.
Mhm.
Deadpool 3, X-Force was announced, and Clue.
Ooh.
I'm confused about
Blue?
Deadpool 3
I don't know.
because he said no more Deadpool movies. They're all going to be group movies.
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued about
And James Cameron
Oh,
probably wanted
interesting.
his movies to come out sooner, but Disney.
It might be a group movie. It might
But
be a
did anyone want them to
precursor.
come out sooner?
I probably
It might be a
so get 'em
precursor
out of the way.
to X-Force.
What's that?
It might be a precursor to X-Force.
That's true.
I feel like X-Force might be a full Disney. Anyways, not the Pikachu episode. Justice Smith, who first film was Triggerfinger, Paper Towns, and recently Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, who was also nominated for a Razzie for that performance.
He
Just-
was?
Yeah.
Aw, I thought he was good.
Worst supporting role, and I was like, that's great.
Yeah.
That's harsh.
Razzies are bad?
yeah.
Yeah,
Razzie
Razzies,
means you have
if you
to-
get a chance, look them up. They're like worst
Oh,
kiss.
You know
like-
who owned
Worst
it
actor
though?
in
Like blowing a
Sandler.
raspberry, like.
Halle Berry.
Oh.
Halle Berry went and showed up for her Catwoman one and was like, "Fuck yeah, I got this.
Yeah.
I'll put it next to my Oscar." You're like,
Yeah.
I would say like this: there are people who get awards for being the worst and the best. There's people who don't get awards for the middle.
yeah.
Yep.
So Catherine Newton, who played Lucy, started out in All My Children in 2002. It was in Paranormal Activity 4.
That's where I know her
Yeah,
from.
Paranormal
All my
Activity.
children.
Oh, okay, never mind. I know her from
I'm just kidding.
Supernatural. She's also in Big Little
Yep.
Lies. She was in Three Billboards in Ebbing, Missouri, and Blockers, which I fucking love.
And
Outside
the
of
most
Missouri.
important one, Dog with a Blog.
Okay.
So then,
Then we have Ken Watanabe, who's in Batman Begins, Inception, Godzilla. Say the line.
Mm-hmm. Let them fight.
And I Love Dogs. And we have Bill Nighy, who Love Actually. We can't,
what's his new line from the new Godzilla? No.
We would be this.
We would be.
So there are pets.
No, we would be this. Oh, Bill Nighy, Pirates of the Caribbean. He's Davy Jones.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
and he's also in Underworld, as if everyone remembers that.
Yes.
And he's
Yes,
a voice
I
actor
do.
for Destiny.
And he's a voice actor for Destiny.
Mr.
Runtime,
Represent.
104 minutes. Released May 10th, 2019. Budget.
Fear death.
Budget 150 million gross, and then the numbers are changed from the notes that I wrote down. It's now at 170, 174.
Oh, dang.
I think.
million.
No,
Wow.
170.4, I think.
There it
0.4.
is.
So there you go.
So, anyways, it's more than the
That's how you
actual
make money, kids.
than the budget.
Since 4 a.m. this morning, went from 64 million to 170.4 million.
Reports came in.
Pokemon.
Doing all right. They're doing all right.
And then from 4 a.m. this morning when I wrote this was Rotten Tomatoes score, critics score was 63%, audience score is 82%.
that makes me happy. The revenue, not the
Oh, okay.
scores. I don't care about scores.
But a little bit, I mean, about the lore-ish. Yeah, this is a worldwide
Yeah.
phenomenon, as we mentioned to
Lore.
begin with.
So it takes place after the events of something I heard 20 years ago.
Well, they reference the Mewtwo who
Was
was found in
captured.
Kanto 20 years ago, which was the exact date of the first movie coming out, which is about Mewtwo being found in Kanto.
Yeah.
Was that the one where strikes again, but he didn't strike the first time?
No,
that's
that's
the one
the
that you
first,
were-
I'm
first,
just kidding.
first. Yeah.
No, Josh and I had a joke because I was like, when I remember watching Pokemon the movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back, I was like, who struck first?
Yeah.
Because
We did, because we made him.
before that,
Mew struck.
the only movie that ever said Strikes Back was a sequel.
Right.
And the Empire Strikes Back is like, okay, cool, because the Republic. But
Yeah.
It's like, who what?
There was something where
Pokemon, the first movie.
something else
Strikes
was called Strikes Back, and it was a
That was part
terrible
of the
movie.
title?
I forget it.
Back. Mewtwo Strikes Back.
For the first movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't
And
remember
then
that.
when the sequel to that movie with Mewtwo is the fourth film, Mewtwo Returns. I'm like, but wait, did he what?
Yes.
He
Fair.
strikes back and returns. Anyways, a little cool fun fact for everyone. Eric Nordley, who is the visual effects supervisor on the film, explained that to
this is
create
for
the
you.
scene that
For
we talked
you,
about
buddy.
with Lickitung, where it uses a giant tongue to lick Tim Goodman, because he's a good man.
Yeah.
They
Tim the
created
Good Man.
a giant latex tongue and covered it in fake saliva. Interestingly enough, according to the Nordby, the Pokemon Company wasn't a big fan of the scene. And that's one where we got up right up to the edge of
His
where they're
quote
comfortable.
is,
Yeah.
this is one where we got right up to the edge of what they were
They're comfortable with. And then another tidbit fact: Ryan Reynolds is super, like you were saying,
On the fence.
about being Pikachu. He felt like he was taking someone else's role
Oh, interesting.
Really?
because he was like, who else should be doing this? Because he knows that he has a clout.
Yeah.
He has a voice, but it's like
Did he talk about like the video game version?
I don't know about that, but I think it's kind of one of those like in the moment questions you have for yourself. Where you're like,
Probably just like, do we want to use this as a vehicle for another actor to?
Yeah. It's like just putting, this guy's like giving George Lopez here's a Hispanic role. It's like, what? Well, you could have someone else, but they just give him to him anyways because he's
Yeah.
the go-to Spanish voice, and he said
Mm-hmm.
that. So yeah,
get that.
those are interesting tidbits.
Still sort of wish they would have given it to my bud KG Tang. Shout out. But like,
I would have wanted Danny DeVito.
oh yeah, no,
But
that would
Ryan
have been
Reynolds is great.
hilarious. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, he was the voice of the other one. Whatever.
But now knowing the story, that wouldn't have worked out.
yeah,
quite as-
not
You
quite
see
as
Danny
good.
DeVito at the end.
Yeah. Hey, kid.
No,
You want to bang some whores?
no,
No.
that's not the same movie.
His character from
From Always Sunny?
from Sunny.
Whores.
God, anyway.
But with that, now favorite
parts.
favorite parts.
That's right. I mean, Lickitung. I was.
I
don't
like
think, I
that
don't
a
think
lot.
I laughed as hard as
Here's
anything
why
else
I
in the
didn't
movie.
have. This is why I had such an adverse effect on it during the movie. Like I actually did have to turn away for a second.
Wow.
Yeah,
Because it got in his mouth.
that and like
The way he
just the
looks.
texture and the detail on the tongue. But what capped it off for me was
He
like
looks like this.
was the tongue, like the noise of the tongue hitting the ground.
Oh really?
Oh.
Every time.
Oh, I love
loved it.
that.
And I was like,
It
Wow.
The
made it
fact that he's
real.
just staring at him like
I love
blankly
that.
at
'Cause
first
it's like
and
a
just
dog. It's like a dog.
goes, "Eh."
It's like badoosh. I was like,
Yeah.
oh.
Anyways.
no.
and the fact that no one claimed it.
Yeah. And
Either.
it just
That
kept
was
staring
funny,
at
too.
him. It was just like, hi.
But that is literally like this is.
I love you
this
now.
Is, this is Turner and Hooch. Tom Hanks' character doesn't like a dog. What does he get?
Yeah.
A fucking dog.
slobbery, big slobbery
And
dog.
so it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you get the dad that didn't want the dog, and then they become best friends. So that's literally the truest
That's
fact.
pretty
about
good.
but go ahead.
but
I don't want to take
me,
away from your Licky tongue.
little less. I mean, I was just gonna say that was just a nod, but like a little thing. And Tom and I talked about this out of the film. Mewtwo's voice was probably my favorite part of the whole film.
Mm.
It was this blend of like male and female, and
Yeah.
like almost otherworldly echoes and stuff
Ethereal.
like that, and it felt right for that
Yeah.
character.
Mhm.
Because
And I really dug it.
in anime adaptations, at least the dubs for me, the first voice was a male, and then later on was a female,
Mm.
and so it's like, but what is it?
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah.
the thing is, in Pokemon, they'll have gender specifications, but
Mewtwo doesn't
legendaries
have
do
them.
not.
Yeah.
So,
But I thought that was just a really nice touch, and it gave it this very like divine
Feeling.
Yeah, like
It
this,
sold like what Mewtwo was supposed to be.
the power and
Yeah.
the power it
The raw power
possessed
that he
and stuff.
has.
So, especially that opening scene where he's like, they're leaving, and he just like breaks out and took off, and is moving so fast that he's creating like
a trail.
like jets do in
Contrail
the
kind of
sky,
thing,
like
yeah.
a little
The
trail.
jet stream.
Was awesome to me, and I was like, this is how I pictured Mewtwo being that powerful. Like,
Mhm.
oh, I'll catch that car.
Yeah.
My favorite is when when Pikachu is badly wounded and they're using all the Bulbasaur to walk through the forest. I
Yeah.
really
Oh my
like that
God.
scene because Immediately, kind of like what you said, and I'm still hanging on it. Like this felt such like a conservationist film, and like nature and beauty and harmony between us and the life around us, and that really kind of sold it for me. And it's like it reminded me of like the same message that I think other films that talk about indigenous people as well as like man and nature or people in nature, like The Revenant, where it's like you go on a spirit journey a little bit of like, in order to heal, you have to go further deeper into what nature has to offer.
Right.
And I swear to God, if it wasn't have to be like such a streamlined movie and it was just like a universe builder movie, I would have wanted to be fucking Suicune.
Yeah.
And Suicune, for everyone, it's one of the legendary dogs in Pokemon, the second generation, and it's known to be like the forest spirit guardian. Also Celebi, but he's a time dude. Anyways, but I really
This was his little.
I really liked it because it was just like that's the one thing I remembered as well in all the Pokemon movies. When you first watch it, it's like, hello, this is Ash, Misty, and Brock. They're trainers going to blah blah. Ash comes from Palatown. They're just walking in the forest. And that's typically how it is. And most of they're
always doing that laughing.
turn into a frying pan, just a drying pan. But like they usually show a lot of good production design and background work in those animated films where like you just see like beautiful landscapes. And it's like this, obviously there was nothing too exotic, but it was just like,
The
here's
city
the
felt
world.
good.
Yeah.
The city felt really good.
But it's like Pidgeotto and Pidgeot flying through a
Yeah, that
barn.
was super
It's like,
cool at the beginning.
What was the bartender?
Ludicolo!
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh, yeah.
God.
Love
Those
that.
both horrifying and amazing.
I loved it a lot.
That was really good.
But I mean, it's funny because it's like it put me in a place where like I was looking at these Pokemon in nature and I was like, that's now. We have that now.
Yeah.
And it's like, why can't I look at it with those same eyes? And so it's kind of like it put me in this weird place. I was like, oh my God, what do I
What
need
do
to
I
do?
feel right
Leonardo
now?
DiCaprio, let me give you all my money.
So with the Pokemons, just kidding.
Pokemon.
The Pokemans that are in this movie, are there any of like the new generations? Or are they all?
Yeah, tons.
Most
All
of
the
them.
time.
I couldn't identify a lot
I think
of them.
there's-
Yeah.
Okay, so I wasn't crazy. I was like, I've never seen that one.
Like
I don't know
the
what that one
bulls
is.
in the
No, I had the
beginning, I thought it was
same.
going to be Tauros.
Anymore, there's like over 800 Pokemon, and I think in this movie there were 54.
Yeah.
Wow, so they were
that,
like, let's
it's like
use that
a
one.
fraction.
From everywhere,
That
yeah.
one.
Because a lot of them became popular, but
Sampling.
like
54 that we could see up front. There was probably way more.
No.
in the background.
Like that's all they could afford. I was reading something about like
Oh.
the director was saying we could only afford 54.
Wow.
Interesting.
Gotta catch them all. Gotta pay them all.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Hey.
Wow.
You'd think the Pokemon company would want them to. Anyway, semantics.
Legendary, baby.
Next time.
IP.
No. Favorite part. I really enjoyed the cage match. That was a lot of fun to kind of see unfold. I
Can't do it
really
when people are watching.
yeah.
Did you ask everyone to just turn away real quick?
See, I never used it before.
Nope.
I really enjoyed like my very, very favorite was Pokemon fucking Pikachu. Like having his power back, so to
Yeah.
speak, and he does his like special move, like
On
the way that it
balloon
unfolded
or on the building.
on the building.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like Volt Tackle?
Yeah,
tackle.
he's like saying that this is my best move, or that's what he said, and it was like, oh, that was
Looked awesome.
that was
Yeah, it looked
sweet.
fucking dope.
I want to say
Volt Tackle sucks.
no. Volt Tackle is dope. Volt Tackle was like the dopest move for like the longest time when like Groudon and Kyogre were thing. I know I'm going to just say some shit.
No.
But fucking Pokemon Let's Go Pika Poo and it's like
Yeah.
Shazamagaloo.
Zippity zap.
Zippity
It's
zap,
like,
or whatever it was.
you had Volt Tackle, which was the dopest move, and now you put fucking isms
Zippy zap,
in there.
zip, zap, zooby,
You put
zippy.
like the lyrics to a
Thankfully-
Disney song in
But
there.
thankfully, the movie kept
Yeah.
Volt
Bippity
Tackle
boppity
and
boop.
didn't
It
give
did.
us
At
Zippy
least there
Zap.
was that.
At least there was that.
Zippy zap's your best move.
I just don't like saying
I
it.
don't know if I could have taken the movie nearly
No.
as seriously. If it was like Zippy Zap's
Oh, yeah.
your best move you got.
Volt Tackle's dope. If they had a Charizard
Yeah.
Blast Burn.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah,
But so
that was dope.
Speaking of Charizard, I forgot that I have this, which I must wear.
Yeah, what's wrong
Oh,
with
yeah.
you?
what
you're not
is
wearing
this for
your-
those who are listening at home?
It's a
This is a Japanese. It says Lizardon. That's what Charizard
real
is
name.
called in Japan.
That's his real name.
It's his real name.
We give him a slave.
But this was shout out to my brother-in-law who got this for me for Christmas.
put
and I'm
it
gonna
on.
Put it on right
Put
now.
it
It's a
on.
nice jacket.
Put it on.
'Cause she's-
Just me chanting. Put it on. Put
Should
it
we?
on.
No?
And they sell
Put
those where
it's
now?
just me. It's just me.
Where are those at in Japan?
Was that uncomfortable
The
for you as it
Pokemon
was
Center.
for me?
What's that mean?
It's a store.
In Japan?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
Pokemon centers in Japan.
Oh, I know.
I want to be there right
yeah,
now.
it's rad.
Wow.
And,
My
Cool
favorite part-
sometimes.
and if you also check out our food porn discourse, you can see all the Pokemon food that you had.
Oh yeah, I went to a when I was in
Ooh.
Japan last December. We went to a Pokemon pop-up cafe where they had
It's not called Poke Cafe.
I don't
Because
know.
translating that
It was Poke
English
Cafe,
word to
I don't remember.
Japanese.
But it like all of the food was amazing and it was all adorable and Pokemon and I
Favorite parts.
anyway.
Yes.
So
Mine
Like
is
from Josh and Ellie.
the Gyarados.
I thought you went. My bad.
The Gyarados
Rude.
evolution.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
That was one of my favorite parts.
Thinking that it wasn't
Um,
going to do anything, and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden it's just
the
like
tease, and it's like right there, like, oh, hi,
After the
and it's
fact.
fucking huge.
and it's awesome.
but then
and-
also the Charizard gets a little sad. And I was like, my dog.
Oh, when he got all scared of it, he
I
was
was
like,
I was like, no.
"My water, my only weakness."
My one week. No, he has a lot of weaknesses.
I love
could throw a
right
rock at
before
his
that
ass.
where he was like, it's like the worst Pokemon.
Yeah.
And then it, yeah.
All
just
it needs
needs
is
a
a
little
little push,
Yeah.
a little boost, and it
Yeah.
did.
that was one, just the beginning, catching the Cubone or like pulling out the Pokeball.
choose me.
Yeah,
Well, the cool thing, to your
that
point,
whole process, the way they like brought it to life.
yeah, I was gonna say like it's your term of it's a very efficient scene of learning what Justice Smith's character Tim is all about. It's like he's lonely.
Yeah.
He used to want to be a trainer. His friends all try to get him to it. Everyone's leaving. It's pretty efficient.
And
scene.
it's right there to establish that even though this isn't about trainers and battles for the most part, it's still Pokemon. Like you see, he pulls out the Pokeball, throws it. The light thing was cool. It's still yellow. Is that bad?
Or it's well, yeah,
Whatever he
does he
says.
say it's not yellow. It's not turning yellow.
It's not
green.
turning
green.
Green.
turning
That's what
green.
it was. Yeah.
And it's like flashing or whatever. And then he gets out and
You
he's
didn't choose me.
Keybone's really mad. Yeah. So that I really like that scene because that instantly like solidified that this is not a cash grab.
yeah.
No one else
Yeah.
can wear the bones of their dead relatives quite like you.
It's not. It's not
Yeah.
supposed to be.
Yeah, and like that line, that because that's from the description in the
Yeah.
game, and I was like, this is
And there's the
people
mom
who
right
wrote
there.
this and
Paying
people who
attention.
put this together care about Pokemon and want us, and you know, a lot of it is fan service, but at the same time, it's like it's what we want. We haven't seen this before on the big screen,
It's what we want.
and it looks awesome.
Well, I like what you said. It's kind of like it's not a cash grab because it's not trying to sell you the Pokemon, the Pikachu detective game.
Right.
No,
It's just trying to give you
it's trying to give you a movie
those
about
movies
Pokemon.
about it.
Yeah, and I appreciated that. And now I really want a movie about battles and trainers.
Yep.
Which one thing I really do like about that
Which
scene,
we'll get. We're gonna
Oh,
get
I'm
that
sure.
now.
Yeah.
I liked
For
how
sure.
I'm just calling him Dupinder because he's Dupinder. How he was like, it has to choose you. The Pokemon has to choose you, which is like a string away from like the original what we were playing with when we were children of like
Yeah.
you battle it, you weaken it, you throw a Pokeball at it, you enslave it.
Or even the anime.
And
I
now-
choose you.
Now it's
He had
very
to-
like partnership.
He had
Yeah.
to warm up to. It was to Pikachu, right? He had to warm up to. Or was it
Pikachu had to warm
Charmander?
up to him.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Pikachu was like, nah, I ain't
That's
gonna
right.
be
He
no
got
ball.
hurt. It's actually kind of the same. He got hurt, and then from the sparrows attacking, and they had to take him to the Pokemon Center.
And he wouldn't get in the ball still, right?
He still won.
He's the only Pokemon in that world
Yeah.
that it doesn't go in a ball. Because they're partners.
Those are a couple of mine.
Joshua,
I
Kaylin.
already did mine.
What was yours?
The
The battle.
cage match.
Oh,
and
right,
then,
right.
Pikachu's Volt Tackle.
Attack from.
So Caitlin.
One of my favorite parts was oh my goodness, and I immediately forgot their name. The speaker.
Oh, the DJs.
Oh,
Yeah.
those
Diplo.
things.
Yeah,
Diplo.
yeah.
Diplo and then the
Going-
like
Mexican
beatboxing?
personality guy.
Yes.
That's what he's famous for.
No, when the R gas goes off and they immediately start doing
Doing
dubstep.
dubstep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the Loud Dread.
That yes,
The
that's
loud
what I
dread,
meant.
yeah.
I was like, Diplo doesn't sound right, but okay. But yeah, no, that whole scene was perfect because it made the like dubstep drop part of the scene rather
Yeah.
than
That's a weird
outside
soundtrack.
of it.
Because of the scene. It's part
Yeah.
of it. It's all
Yeah.
because of it.
A fun fact with that, quote unquote, is that the visual effects team asked the Pokemon company, he's like, so how does the anatomy of a Loudred work? They're like, I don't know. The Pokemon company was like, I don't know, whatever. And then they're like, where does its guts live? It's like, where's its spine? Where's
Welcome to
all
the world of Pokemon.
And their answer was, its mouth when it opens up should be a void. And I was like, oh, gluttony. Okay, from Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
Oh my
And the
God.
same thing happened with Mr. Mime. They're like, what is it? Is
Yeah.
it an animal or is it a human? They're like,
That's my second favorite part.
It's a Pokemon.
Mr. Mime.
The whole Mr. Mime scene was fantastic.
Oh,
I would say I immediately thought of you, Josh, because
Yeah?
of that, because of the door and the
Oh.
room. And it goes in there and the audio for his voice changes because he's in the room. I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. That's
It was
really
That was
And the
really
little
cool.
sound effects like the spoon with the tea or the tea plate or
Yeah.
I like the little Sharon Stone,
mhm.
Basic
Um,
Instinct.
I thought it was really cool that the movie that he was watching on TV,
Yeah.
his gangster
Fake
movie,
movie?
was a fake movie from,
Home
Home Alone.
Alone.
Sakes.
Was it?
Angels
Yeah.
with Filthy Souls.
That's awesome.
That's the
You filthy animal.
Merry Christmas. Ah!
Yeah.
Nice.
Fake movie that they filmed for Home Alone.
Oh, that's
And
And I was like, oh, hey.
It's so cool.
He's like, the jig is up, snakes. It's not a real movie.
Another part that I really liked was not necessarily, I guess, the scene of the movie, but more about an aspect of the movie, in that the insects were Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
The little spiders?
what was it? It's like a Rosalia, I think, was like on the side of a thing.
I think that's
It
the
was
idea with,
teeny, teeny, tiny.
Yeah.
with Pokemon is that they
Replace all of our organisms.
any
with,
living creature.
Regular thing.
which
Right.
I like a lot.
But
It was nice. Little subtle nod.
But it's
Yeah.
clear they included it.
I guess when going into this, I was more expecting like, pet size Pokemon only.
Mhm.
And so when they had the like teeny tinies and the little bugs that like fly or bird size, like not just, Pidgeotto or whatever size, but that's what was like, okay, I'm
like
now
Patrico.
100% in.
It was a really immersive world,
yeah.
which was super cool.
Two things I really love about this film is that like the DP specifically could have just went with average shots, but there's a lot of things where you're like, oh, the DP or the director really want to have these specific shots in it. So like when the Cubone doesn't acknowledge him and there's this like cool parallax shot, I'm like, you didn't need to do that, but I like that because it shows there's a shift in his mindset when that happens. Like he's not buying it, he didn't like that, or like when there's the scene with the fake video, it's a oneer. It's a one shot of the entire apartment
Yeah.
to show you the place of where he's at. And it's like you could just do a shot reverse shot. And like also when Lucy breaks into the little lab facility, it starts upside down. Things like that where it's like
Good cinematography. Yeah.
it's not even like phenomenal cinematography, but it's like cool, you're making a creative decision.
You're
Yeah.
paying attention.
You're
to,
not just
You're going above and beyond.
you're not just slapping an image on a
it's
screen
not
and being like
a-
it tells a story.
like just as much as like the Pokemon Company or WB don't see this as a cash grab necessarily or purely as a cash
The
grab.
director didn't either.
The filmmakers also don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
He didn't have to
They're
go that
there
hard,
for
but
the
he
passion
did.
of the craft.
He did it for
They're-
us.
Even though they're restricted by PG-13 or PG, by the
PG,
way,
yeah.
that doesn't restrict their creativity.
Yeah. And I really, so the lab facility, IV training. That's all it is. IV and EV training. So for everyone at home that doesn't know what that means, when you're playing the game, after like the 4th generation, there was like, that was all the game became. It was all about your natures. So each Pokemon would be like angry, bashful, hasty, blah, blah. And those would affect like, this Pokemon moves faster. This Pokemon
Yeah.
moves,
This has a higher
better
defense,
attack.
special attack.
And so also depending what Pokemon you battle with, it would grow to a different way. It would like work. It would like the
IV
speed
training?
would grow better, or like the attack would grow better, or the defense would grow better. So that's literally what I thought it was. Like, how are they going to make it stronger? And I was like, IV training. That's
IV
it.
training.
It's like that's why. And then also in Pokemon
Which is
Go,
what EV is a play on words of.
yeah, and that's why in Pokemon Go they have XL and extra small Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
So like the Totero's like, that's just a big ass Pokemon.
XL.
It's whatever.
XXL.
XL, baby.
That's some thick.
It is the Torterra Garden.
So those biggins
Yeah.
that they were like
They're not
basically on
supposed to be
top
that
of.
big.
They're not okay.
No.
That's like,
They're supposed to be the size of the
engineered,
ones
like-
they saw in the.
I think
Oh,
those were a
okay.
little small, but yeah.
Yeah, but still.
Th-
It's supposed
that-
to be closer
okay.
to that
That's
size.
like that generation's like probably the 6th generation starter.
Oh, okay.
It's like the Venusaur of that generation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they
that
weren't
was like
supposed to
Pearl
be-
and Platinum?
That big.
Okay.
Yeah.
Diamond,
Like
Platinum, and
never.
Pearl, I think.
With
I love the
Empoleon and
In the beginning, you see
Yeah.
a pack of Bulbasaur. That was really fun. That was cool. I was
Yeah.
like, and that's kind of leads to kind of what you were saying
The
about the details.
Squirtle's
of,
fighting
like,
fires.
saying-
Squirtle
Fire-
Squad?
Yeah.
Well, also like there was like a really wide shot of the farm, and like you see like a Doduo kind of like pacing back there, and like
Really subtle
and
stuff.
like it's like he's like lens flared and silhouetted, and
Yeah.
like it just looks
the light
really well done.
falls off really well.
Yeah, like I don't know, like they did a. I was super impressed by the way this looked.
I was
because
really-
it looked photo real, but it was the exact designs as you see in front of you on the table. If you're watching video, if you're watching audio, just Google Pokemon. That's what you see on film. Just looks photorealistic, which shouldn't work, but
yeah.
it does.
Like the Mr. Mime really surprised me.
Yeah.
Like how well that looked. I'm like, oh, like why is that why does it look so good?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
why?
You know who looked really good too was Machamp.
Oh yeah.
I didn't think that
Yeah.
would look that good, and it did. And
Is
of
it-
course, like
Oh, I'm sorry. I was
Go
going
ahead.
to say Jigglypuff. Is that the one with the microphone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
Jig.
I was like, oh, that looks so cute.
love
Like a
Snorlax.
little cotton poof.
the
Yeah.
concept of Snorlax being furry
Yeah.
hadn't crossed my mind, and all of a sudden I'm like, I just want to cuddle with a
Yeah.
Snorlax.
I think we're starting to bleed into our next part, which is favorite character /
think
favorite
so. Any
Pokemon.
other favorite
Oh,
parts?
sorry.
Yeah, we should definitely do that before long.
I mean,
We could just oogle about fucking Pokemon all day.
Yeah, I mean, it's all a lot of favorite part. I mean, this is something we've been waiting for 20 some odd years.
Well, it's something we didn't think we
Right.
were waiting for, and then we got it.
yeah,
Like
it's not the
Detective
movie
Pikachu.
we wanted, but it's the movie
I love the
deserved.
way
And now we just need a good RPG version, like
Yeah.
with Final Fantasy graphics.
Ugh.
we'll get. It's coming to Switch. That'll be good
Um,
enough. If Sun and Moon was like pretty close on that doorstep.
One of my last favorite parts, I think, before we move on, is anytime Ryan Reynolds Pikachu is giving commentary on how good he is at talking to girls.
Oh yeah.
Cracked me up. Where he's like, "I'm good at being alone at night." And he's like, "That didn't land how you think it landed." By the way, Just wanna- I'll never let you do it alone.
He just peed a little. No,
yeah,
that was me.
So stuff like that just really cracked me up.
In my jellies.
I loved seeing
Feel it in your
Eevee.
jellies. I made that up.
I loved seeing Eevee evolve into Flareon.
Flareon.
Oh.
That was fun.
I feel like that's such a
Felt
flex.
so good.
That's like
What?
I got this $50,000 stone that evolves a Pokemon. Psh, welcome to my office.
Yeah.
You know, that's such a flex. Such a flex.
Yeah,
Putting the
it was.
AirPods in.
Yeah.
So favorite characters?
Pokepods.
Yeah, Mewtwo.
That's good.
All day. I'm a sucker for. So first of all, for those of you who don't know me, Psychic is my favorite type of Pokemon. If I was a gym leader, if you had to pick one of the 8 gym leaders from the original one, I'd be Psychic all day, all day. Abra's my favorite. I was really sad he wasn't in this film. R.I.P. But yeah, so for me it was Mewtwo. I like how they handled the voice, the characterization, the power that fucking Mewtwo had. Watching it fly
that we've
around
never
and
seen
stuff,
before,
like
by the way.
that
is 100%
shot,
new. Josh.
That shot of Pikachu blowing up the
the
inflatable and then him just
blasting through.
right through the fire was the coolest thing in the world.
Well,
I was
when
like,
we all saw the trailer, I was like, oh, that's my
badass.
money.
yeah,
That's
I
my
remember
money.
that was the last shot of the trailer, and I freaked out. I was like, well, I'm not going to see this movie. I have to because of that shot, and it did not
Requirement.
disappoint on the big screen. So Mewtwo all day.
So that's your favorite Pokemon character, and
Are we doing humans as well?
I think I wrote that down. I said favorite character, Pokemon, and movie Pokemon.
Oh,
So
so
we've
my
already
favorite,
done. I thought
favorite
we've already
Pokemon-
done favorite Pokemon.
My
Favorite Pokemon is
Pokemon
Abracadabra,
disambiguated?
Alakazam. Any
Yes.
of those are my actual favorite Pokemon.
Just have a little fun with it.
Mewtwo was my favorite in this, and out of the humans, man, I have no idea. The sleeping guy that Jigglypuff sang to sleep was just passed out at the bar. I didn't relate a lot to the other humans.
For me, obviously, main character. I really like the way that Tim was written. I love his writing, and I think Justice Smith did a great, adaptate or did great liberties with what he did, and he performed well to play the story. But I think to me, my favorite performance is Ken Watanabe.
Yeah.
I
Same.
really
Hardcore same.
Like when he walked into the office
And he has
and
a sad face,
Yeah.
and then he brightens up to
for
see
Justice.
Him.
Yeah.
It was like
I was gonna say about Tim's writing, they did something in this movie that you don't see very often, where him and Pikachu have this like back and forth banter, this fun like almost like a buddy cop film where they're like they don't really get along, but when shit hits the fan, they really get along. But they had a line in there where Tim literally goes, "I haven't been all that nice to you," and I was like,
Yeah.
the fuck does that happen in movies? Now you're changing the dynamic of your characters that's worked halfway through the film so far.
Well, everything comes into fruition. It's like, oh, they can't understand what you're saying, but they can feel it. You
Yeah.
just got to open yourself up to it.
So that scene of him just being like, I haven't been really nice to you really hit me. And I was like, people don't usually write that because now they have to change their characters.
Yeah.
For the
But
next half of the
also,
film.
it's the whole like people are afraid to be very genuine about it too.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I guess you're all right. That kind of stupid masculine bullshit.
Machismo.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and,
to your point though, that's
yeah. Favorite
noticed.
movie Pokemon. I really liked how all of them look like Magikarp specific, but I think my favorite Pokemon in the movie is Psyduck. Because he was super cute. Because at first, when you first see him, he's like the bumbling idiot.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause he's like, oh, he sees me. He goes hides behind
oh,
the
Yeah.
dumpster.
can I?
Pikachu's reaction to being next to Psyduck too.
The design of Psyduck I think is really good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I loved their adaptation of what his eyes are.
Same.
gray.
That instead of it's not just a bead
Dot.
or whatever, he has white irises.
Yeah.
I like
Like
that.
that was really cool.
I love that.
I was
a
Oh,
lot.
I
like,
didn't
so-
notice that.
Yeah. So so that's why he looked
like
like he did in the
white
cartoon,
gray.
but they made it realistic.
I
by
like
giving him white
that he makes
irises.
people give him foot massages. I like that he is a bomb. I like that.
Yeah, Pikachu's reaction to being, you didn't tell me she had a friggin' Psyduck here. Why? Because when they get stressed out, they explode.
The Psyduck was so like derpy cute, and I was just like, I think he's my favorite. And then my favorite Pokemon in real is always Charizard. But I mean, yeah, it's Charizard or Crobat
yeah,
because Batman.
Batman. Pro Batman. That's the name of your character.
My
on-
character. I always do Batman, and then the bad guy's always fuckboy.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Wow.
Who's next?
I'll go next. Character people, Tim.
He's a good man.
Yeah, he's
Related to John
I liked watching Justin
Smith.
Justice.
Justice Smith.
Justice
Sorry.
Justice
I thought
Names are
his
hard.
performance in the movie was genuine. I really enjoyed watching him. And then when it comes to, usually I'm I'm a regular old Pikachu guy. Pikachu or Charizard are usually my favorite. Sometimes
Classics.
I feel like that's like saying I really like Bugs Bunny.
You
Well,
can
let's
say
say
Mickey
it's-
Mouse.
Well, here's the thing, though. If it's the truth, it's the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just
So
don't.
don't pick someone else because you're afraid of saying.
Yeah. You just don't want
how
to be a
you feel.
basic bitch. I understand that.
And then in this movie, I liked Psyduck as well. I never really gave any thought to Psyduck. In this movie, I was like, oh,
I used to give thought to Psyduck
he's so sweet.
because psychic water, baby.
But also, 'cause-
Psychic water.
Does he just have a headache like all the time?
Yeah, that's his literal MO.
Yeah. But
his quirk.
Then he
His
becomes,
migraine.
That's why he's
Then he-
always
Yes.
like this.
Then he becomes Golduck, which is just like super badass
Who-
psychic water.
Pretty much, gets a red dot right here and just blasts
Red
beams
diamond.
out of it.
Yeah. He's badass as shit.
Wow.
Yeah. And he turns all blue.
And also,
That's just
Misty's original bay. So.
Wow.
Can you make my bike, Ash Ketchum? Anyways, go on.
Who's next?
So,
Ollie.
What's the order again?
character, Pokemon,
Character.
and
in
then
real life
and
and
then-
Pokemon in the movie. Yeah.
Pokemon movie. So my favorite character in this was Pikachu, and
Dope.
especially him as a human.
Mhm.
I thought that was like I like the look, and I was like, this is good. I like it. It's good. I want him to be my dad.
Get your coffee.
And go be detectives together. That's awesome. That sounds
Yeah.
great.
So you liked Ryan Reynolds?
So I like Ryan Reynolds. Basically.
Yeah.
He's my favorite character.
So you like Deadpool? No, I'm just kidding. Let's
Love
go
Deadpool.
further.
Wasn't enough blood.
There's enough
go on.
blood. It was weird. And my favorite Pokemon in outside of the movie is Eevee, specifically Vaporeon, because of acid. Or whatever.
Because
Because I take
of
acid.
It's
acid.
good.
Because
love
I
that.
take acid.
I love that combination. But it's Pokemon trading card game has a bigger place in my life, and so my favorites are these two cards, which are Erica's Vileplume and Koga's Beedrill, and Tom has both of them, so I can celebrate them both because they're both kick-ass Pokemon cards, and I built
Just
around.
keep him over there. Keep him over there.
I'm very much a
Grass type?
grass bug like Erica.
Yeah.
Like I would be Erica's sub.
Got it.
Bug me a little bit.
Got it.
I try. And then the movie, I really liked Mewtwo. I thought that was like nailed it. Yeah.
Kaylin.
I think real human people's Yoshida, like Watanabe, and Pokemon. This is hard.
Who's your favorite Pokemon outside the movie?
Outside the movie, Ninetales.
Ninetales. All right.
Yeah.
Grab its tail.
Ninetales.
Good luck.
You know what happened? Oh, well, no, I'll talk about it later.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about it after this. After this.
And then in the movie, it's really hard to pick. In the movie,
It's a
I
little
really
song.
like Snubble.
Oh,
Yeah.
because Yoshida.
Yeah, I just really like that pairing as well because
Yeah,
he was
'cause
trying
he's
to
a
do the
cop.
good cop, bad cop thing
Yeah.
while
Love
Tim
that
was in the
the-
room.
And
And
he
then
was
the
trying to
moment he
pet
left,
him.
he
But
was
also,
like,
it's always so like traditional where it's like a bulldog thing. Is
Mean
like
mugging
the
you.
cop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And
Right,
he's
but
like, he's
even-
really nice. He's like,
But even
Doesn't pet
then,
him.
he was like surprised that happened. And then the moment he left, and then when he goes to pet him again, he's like, this
Yeah.
is great. And he's like, oh, you little
Like
shit.
when Pikachu blacks out.
I do want to give a shout out. Do it again, the bartender.
Let it go now.
That's my other favorite one. Because he's like, can I get one of these? And he just turns around and yells at him and shakes. And I
I've
was like,
never
"That's
seen
great."
that Pokemon.
It's
from
from,
a
further-
Lotad, then to a Ludi something, and then a Ludicolo.
It's like
pretty
what?
much-
Third
it's
generation?
Literally wearing a sombrero.
Which generation is that? Third?
That's Mudkip generation. So
Third.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Oh my God. Second?
no third.
It's hard
No,
to keep
third,
track. but there's
Totodile.
literally over 800 of them. So
But I'll say this.
But I know the starters.
Why do I know
usually.
more Pokemon and their types than I know presidents and their birth dates?
Devotion.
because presidents
Pokemon
are
is your
boring.
hobby and presidents are not your hobby.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
Cool. But yeah, cool. So let's go into qualms.
Qualms.
Let's do it.
Who's first?
I have a very important qualm.
All right.
How the hell did he get behind everything to the news center where they're recording live to the crafty for the VIPs? How did he
Oh.
get back there?
Who?
Tim
Oh.
and Pikachu. They just got right back to crafty through all
Like
that
not
security.
being stopped by
Oh, by
security.
CNN.
No one stopped them.
Yeah.
How?
I'm the son of
How did they
I'm
get
a son
there?
of a detective who died and have an interview in 5.
They didn't show that though. He just showed up. He didn't even have
It's a
like
lot-
the.
it's a-
Well, they
You
didn't
have a
show the
logic
body,
qualm.
and that was the whole
I
point.
have a
of the movie.
logic qualm.
Okay. Logical.
Logic.
I have
Logic
another
error.
qualm, and Corey and I share it.
Oh, okay.
It's when Pikachu is about to fall down to the ground, and then Tim gets to the ground
Yeah.
immediately after.
So
he's like, no.
So it's like 50 stories down. Mewtwo catches him, and Tim's at the top. He's like, no. Mewtwo catches him, and a second later, Tim's down 50 stories, being like, are you okay? And I was like, at least 5 seconds more.
I
of
didn't
film
even think about
Oh,
that.
yeah.
would have given me the
Like,
feeling
that's
that
real
he,
quick. Well, I think that
like
could,
maybe a few lines between Mewtwo and Pikachu, and
maybe,
then he shows up.
Mewtwo pulled it down.
or if Mewtwo did the fucking snap of the fucking bring everyone back,
Yeah.
and
That's
then he
true.
comes down, he's like, Pikachu, you okay?
Yeah,
Or he does
yeah.
like Pikachu. you've
Yeah,
done
have
well,
that
blah,
scene.
blah, blah.
Have that scene between.
Yeah,
them.
you
It
just
was
rearrange it.
Instantly on the
I
ground.
was like, damn, he's the Flash.
I didn't
Yeah.
even think about that.
Tom said to me, I was like,
I didn't think
at
about
I
that.
like
all.
leaned over, I was like, how did he get down so fast? And Tom goes, he's a Flash. And I was like, oh,
You use
this is
Voltaire.
actually the Flash origin story. Who knew?
Yes. Yeah.
He's Wally West.
Meow.
For me,
So, that
my
tonguey tongue.
that actually not a qualm. It was just like a
It just grosses
gross
you
gag,
out.
gross out gag, which is exactly what it's supposed to be. For me, it was just the fact that I don't know, I don't want to blame the rating, but it just felt like a very predictable plot. Not a whole lot.
That's my biggest issue. It's a kid's movie.
It's a kids movie. I
Yeah.
get that.
so I want to
but
give the grain
like-
of salt there.
But we live in a world where like Pixar magic exists, where they can make a movie that's for kids that plays really
It's the
well
same
for
plot
adults
as
as
Zootopia.
well.
yeah.
It's the same.
There was a
I'd
lot
put
of
it- yeah.
So here's my thing, kind of in the same vein as that. And I'm just going to jump on for the sake of time
Mm-hmm.
to like kind of. There's a lot of things introduced that are just really convenient plot devices.
Yes.
So like
Here's this hologram thing.
the fucking hologram
That
shit.
hologram
I was like,
thing.
are you?
I was bored, so I made this.
And they're like,
Okay.
let's take it back to the beginning.
What's this
And you're just
button
like,
exposition do?
how do you know how to use that computer?
Yeah.
How do you know how to use that computer? First of all, so stuff like that really bothered me. But again, I'm grain of salt. It's a PG
Yeah.
kids movie. It's
Yeah.
for like
Yeah.
11-year-olds. So the plot has to be a little more simplistic in a sense.
And there was some adult humor.
And like the villain is just like very generic. Like I'm super rich and there's not going to be much about me except that I'm bad.
yeah.
you're just
And
like,
then like I'm
okay.
I'm actually a little curious because like you mentioned, it has like the exact plot as not the exact plot, but the same
Chinatown.
exact like issue as
it feels like
no.
China.
I was going to say Zootopia with making them with
Frenzied.
a society where two different things that normally shouldn't be hanging out together exist. There's a crazed chemical that makes
yeah.
the one half,
Frenzied.
Except
Frenzied.
it worked in Zootopia.
except it worked as a
a little better, a little more.
And then they
coherent.
have to like
Because it's
leave
more about
the
racism
city,
than anything.
Yeah.
leave the city to figure out what it is, and it's a plot leading with Mayor in Zootopia. And
Well, I would like, and I talked
So-
to you about this too. It's like it feels like, and this to me happens with every caper film of Chinatown, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's all really cool and fun, and there's like some cool dialogue and character dynamics. And at the very end, the third act, it's like for freeways, okay, for
Yeah.
water,
Yeah.
okay, fucking why?
and also, I like
fucking why?
I don't always like having more information than the
characters?
characters do in a mystery movie.
I think you only get that from that one moment, right?
From the
With
beginning.
Pikachu, from the beginning. Oh, with the death.
Yeah, with,
Yeah.
with you see Mewtwo flying out. And
Yeah,
I think it would maybe a bit more powerful if he was like revealed to be Mewtwo. That's what they were holding here, like in the second act or something. I don't know.
I would agree with that.
But yeah, I mean, on top of that, there's just a few other small things of like, and maybe I missed this, but Pikachu calls him Tim before they introduce each other. So when they're running from the Apoms, he goes, "This way, Tim." And later he's like, "I'm Tim." "Oh, you're Harry's kid." And I was like, "But you call them Tim."
Interesting. I didn't pick up on that.
I wonder if that
interesting.
was like a because it's his dad's soul thing.
I
But
don't
also,
buy that.
how did he get into the CNN building? Did they say it, Caitlin?
All right.
Yeah.
See, now I know how it feels,
What a
right?
valid point
Now you
you
know how it
have.
feels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that not knowing who he was, but calling him by his first name was a bit much for me. Also, I guess, I know he hasn't seen his dad that often, but he has enough. It weirded me
To
out
hear
that he
his
didn't
voice?
recognize his voice.
Oh,
I would recognize my
Yeah.
dad's voice
Yeah,
Yeah.
anywhere,
yeah.
I'd say so.
and so for me, it's just a logic gap.
My
where
dad
I'm
has
just
an
like,
accent, so I
Well,
noticed that.
how
real
long
quick.
did he say it had been? 5 years at least.
Yeah.
But still,
But I also went through a period in my life where I didn't see my dad for 6 years, and I'd still know his voice.
You know his voice.
when I was in high
You
school.
know his voice over a phone, let
Yeah.
alone
Yeah.
in real life.
Yeah.
And by the time that was, he was already like 11 or 12. You would know.
It's
your
a very
dad's voice.
it's a contrived point. Of,
Yeah.
like,
Because he's
Yeah.
to make the
21
reveal at the
in the
end.
movie, so he would have
Yeah.
been 16.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah.
So that for me, it just the whole time was just when that I like the way it came about. I like the revelation about it, but I was just like, wouldn't you know that before then?
Well,
Yeah.
because
I
he's
guess?
an insurance guy.
And I'll be, you know what? I like the revelation. I don't really. It didn't really. When he said your dad has been here the whole time, I literally went, no.
No.
I don't want that.
No.
I just this is going to be an unpopular opinion. I didn't like that his
That it was his
dad was
dad.
put into a Pokemon.
to me,
It was like very Bill from the first film, where Bill accidentally puts himself into a Pokemon. You have to fix it to get it out. But it was just like it was something I didn't need, and this whole time I wanted them to work together to find his dad. And the fact that it was like, I don't know, it just kind of like this build up, and then I was like, meh.
Corey, same.
Oh, okay.
I was actually going to say that I wish that his dad wouldn't have kept all the memories, but Pikachu would have. Because the moment his dad left Pikachu, Pikachu just forgets everything and basically got relegated to being like the family dog, which was...
To be fair, though,
he's always a partner.
He asked for it.
I know, but I'm saying like I would have felt better about... Because that bothered
But
me
also
too.
not family dog, because they're in Rhyme City. They're equals.
I know, they're equals, but it felt like...
It's his
like,
partner.
he was his partner, but the moment that his dad's soul wasn't in Pikachu anymore, it felt like all of the equality kind of dropped.
Yeah.
Like, because he was just kind of there. And, like, they did talk and have back and forth, but I stopped caring as much about Pikachu.
maybe because you don't
Because-
think animals are equal with them.
That's totally it.
Wow.
All right,
Wow.
PETA, come for
You're
me.
not allowed to play with my dogs
Well,
anymore.
He's too busy killing the
But-
animals. So.
But, oh,
Two-faced.
Jesus. Too dark. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I would have enjoyed it more that like Pikachu and Tim still had that relationship, and like his dad came back and was like, Tim, and then they could have started their relationship fresh.
Except that wouldn't have worked. You'd need that building between the two of them for Tim to forgive him. Because if his dad just showed up fresh without any kind of thing they'd been through, why should Tim forgive him?
Well, I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need
Yeah.
that. I get it. I get what you're saying. But you,
Or that he
you
could have been
need
like-
the story building between the whole thing is the son and the dad, even though it's
Yeah.
about Pikachu.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
just get that growth with Pikachu, then he's gonna be like, "Fuck you, dad. I just want your Pikachu." You know what I mean? I'm just gonna steal
Next
your
time,
Pikachu.
Detective Pikachu
Slams the
2.
door.
But also,
fucking saw
if
move.
Pikachu is like
But also, maybe Pikachu did remember it all. We don't know.
well, no, he says that you definitely didn't.
You
Mewtwo's
definitely
like, you
didn't?
don't remember. You won't remember anything.
He
Oh.
said that to the dad.
So that yeah.
He says like you'll have the heart, the heart of you will be in it, but you won't have any
When he-
memories
when
of
he's-
who you are.
When he's putting the soul into Pikachu, yeah, he's talking about the dad not remembering everything. So we
Oh.
don't know whether or not Pikachu remembers all the adventures.
I
but-
think they do. Pokemon are smarter than us.
But
I guess I just wanted more interaction between Tim and Pikachu at the end. Like
Well-
there wasn't any. It was kind of like, okay, thanks for saving my dad's soul for a while.
Yeah.
Bye.
For me, with
Yeah.
that whole aspect of it, like it's whatever. It's like it's a kid movie. It's family bullshit. Whatever. But I was kind of like Mewtwo could already do that shit. But Bill Nye, you're so inadept or fucking inept at using abilities. You have to use this
but
R
the
thing
the,
to do
the
it.
Pokemon had to be willing.
Yeah, I guess.
Or
Which
crazy.
I was
Because
just
he
like-
says it, he's like, I can do this because the Pikachu is
Was
willing
willing
to
to
use
use
its
it.
body. Before you have to get them into a frenzy state so their minds.
Aren't
Accept
working.
it.
Yeah.
I was like, nah. But also that whole thing, I was just like, Mewtwo never had that ability, but that's whatever.
Yeah.
But also when that happened, I was kind of like, well, no more sequel
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Because
For
that's
sure.
all gone. But I did have an idea. I was like, ooh, that'd be kind of cool. But
So-
Josh, do you have any qualms?
I do. I have multiple qualms. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, taking it with a grain of salt, this is a children's movie. It is PG-13.
Just PG.
PG.
I do have an PG. What did I say? PG-13. Awesome. PG. I have an unpopular opinion, and
Pokemon fucking suck. Digimon's the best.
no. Yeah,
Sorry,
the whole Ryan Reynolds being the dad at the end, I did agree with you of like I didn't need that, but I also all right, I'm just gonna say it. The part about Ryan Reynolds being Pikachu, being the voice, just to me, just didn't land.
Okay.
For me, the I felt like it was like trying to ride on the wings of the Deadpool success of like Ryan Reynolds, his humor, his delivery. I love Ryan Reynolds. Please do not get me wrong.
Yeah.
I love Ryan
Yeah.
Reynolds. I
Van
do love
Wilder all day.
I love his brand of comedy, his quips, that stuff like that. But for this, unfortunately, the jokes did not land for me.
Okay.
I think that's literally why he had such a hard time accepting the role.
Yeah.
Is that thing?
And Lucy, so with Justice / Tim,
League.
yes, he felt really genuine.
Yeah.
Like I was watching his performance and I was like, I buy it.
He's written really well. He's
Yeah.
written smart. He doesn't do stupid shit.
His character goes through really poignant, interesting things.
He's not super
Lucy,
cool.
I just couldn't buy. She just felt really. I felt like she was overacting. It was like, oh, you're acting right now.
Yeah.
That
I
was hard
can-
for me. Like I was.
The first time she showed up on screen, I actually thought this feels like a Disney Channel detective movie.
Yes.
Which, you know what?
Yes.
I totally got
it
that.
kinda
I liked it
is.
because I
Yeah.
felt like
Keep in mind.
yeah, no.
I feel like that was it because it was kind of them making fun of the whole like femme fatale trope thing. And I was like, cool. And then like it plays into the hokiness of it because she tones that down later on.
Yeah.
But it's like so over the top at the beginning, which I was like okay with. And I don't know which scenes were shot first or whatever. That could have
Yeah.
been the first
Yeah.
one. But it just kind of felt like, yeah, this is what a kid's movie version of Chinatown would feel like. Like
Yeah.
kind of dumb.
But it's also with the juxtaposition of Tim
Yeah.
being so like, oh,
To Tiger Pounce on your thing about her first scene really bothered me because
Yeah.
she said she's been waiting
Same.
for someone to open that. She finally finds the person who opened it, and what does she do? She leaves without
Yep.
getting anything.
Yeah.
I was like,
That was
follow him.
That was more of my issue was the way she was written. I felt like she didn't really bring anything to the table a whole
If
lot.
you've been waiting there for days to see who opens
and why
that
did he put the mail
mailbox.
back in?
He
I was
didn't
like,
even-
He didn't
You
take it
didn't put
out.
them out?
He just
didn't
opened
even-
it and then
he just
shut
looked
it.
at it.
yeah,
'Cause
and
it's
I
not
was
his
like,
mail.
Also, like she didn't really do anything in the third act. Like I was waiting for her to like
Yeah,
get
'cause
her
we came on
moment.
Pokemon.
No.
They almost
Well,
gave
no,
it to her
before
because
that.
she switched the
She
jacket.
almost did. Yeah,
wanted to
she
talk
switched
to
the
the
jacket. I was
mayor.
like, okay, here we go. And then she just like, no,
Turned into
you can't-
Psyduck.
You can't get it in turn.
She turned to a civilian. Just pretty
Yeah.
much another bystander. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like even before the Psyduck stuff. Like
Would have been cool if she could have notified
Somebody.
Ken Watanabe's character. They could
Yeah.
have done a little something or
So- that would've been
something. I don't know.
Do
But-
a little.
but they
Bat-
both
do
just
a little.
got
Do a little
switched.
Batman Begins. Close
Yeah.
off the harbor. Put the bridges.
hey,
Yeah.
Give them something a little more to do. Be involved with that ending would be cool.
that would have been that's what I wanted.
so kind of tiger pouncing on that some more. The movie, though PG, they were hinting at a little something between
Oh, yeah.
Tim and Lucy, but they just had no chemistry when I was watching them. Like I didn't see anything that made me go, "Oh yeah, they like each other."
Oh.
And there's that one part where it's like, oh, the lady, even though you're beady-eyed version of the girl I find attractive, I was like, oh, that's the first time really getting that hint.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I
From
think he's
this.
like he says when he's fighting the Ditto, he's like he's physically attracted to her, but that's it. And
Yeah.
at the very end, they don't kiss, they don't do anything. They just
Right.
meet up at the end of the night, which I like because I think it's super hokey that there always has to be a romantic end or anything like that. It leaves room that possibly that can happen.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like, I get that point of like you don't feel like there's any chemistry on there. But I was kind of like, yeah, he's just attracted to her because it's a fucking girl. And who has he hung out with the
And, like-
entire film? Not one girl.
And,
Yeah.
and those things I
He's a
won't.
little yellow rat.
I don't excuse the rating for things like that
Yeah.
because it's like I've seen movies that
R-rated that.
R-rated that do a much better job
Yeah.
of relationships and people and stuff.
Yeah. So
So rating.
those are mine.
It's me and you first, I believe.
Okay.
Yep. None on y'all.
Corey.
I'll go first. So this was tough for me because as far as the story goes, I wasn't impressed at some spots. There were some things that left me either logic gap wise, where I was just like, but why?
Yeah.
Or like
why?
one too many little convenient plot devices, like the holograms, or knowing how to just use the computer in the facility that's broken and stuff like that. So it was going to be like a 3 point low something. But because of how well they handled the characterizations of the Pokemon, how they look, how living in the world felt, all the interactions of Rhyme City and stuff like that, bumped it up to a 3.7.
Wow.
4. Solid 4.
Oh,
I'd buy it
gotcha.
because it's a Pokemon movie.
Masterpiece?
It means the best live action Pokemon I have.
Mhm.
So,
Touche.
where's
Fair.
Digimon's? And things like that, where it's like, I don't know what else to expect from it. You know, like I don't expect it to be a masterpiece. I don't expect it to be like phenomenal. I don't.
Don't
expect
you want it to be though?
I don't know because it wouldn't just might take away from everything. It's like not about Pokemon. It's not about the kids. It's not about the training. It's about the drama between people. It's like then why do I need Pokemon?
Well, that's not
But
exactly
the
what I mean.
argument could be the other way around too. Why not? Why can't you tell a good story that's not about
Yeah.
this and not about that and still have
The
Pokemon
anime
in
did.
it?
I mean, And that's kind of I
I
think
get it, but you can also argue it the other way.
It's kind of like within the confines of the genre, right? Where it's like something has to be kind of breaking away from it, and there's nothing that really sets that bar.
Yeah, right. But I think to Ollie and my point is that like there can still be a better story to tell within
If anything,
the
I think
confines
it would if it's done right, I think it would amplify the Pokemon story. If
Yeah,
the
I think it
humans are-
definitely wouldn't be a Detective Pikachu film, and I don't think it would be PG.
Yeah.
And that's the thing where it's like,
Well,
well,
it could still be PG.
I don't know.
I mean, the anime is for 20 years, and
I wouldn't give any of the animes a 5
a lot of the anime has been better storytelling than this
for the
me.
movies.
Huh?
The movies, right?
The show or the movies?
I'll say the
Whichever one.
movies, but yeah, I wouldn't give
fine.
any of the movies a 5.
No.
But you know what I'm saying? So it's like that kind of.
Oh,
thing. It's like, I don't know. Like I would give the movies higher rating than this, but
Yeah.
like for me, it's like it's a 4.
It's still a good solid number.
So next would be
It's higher than the other number
Kaylin.
that was said.
Me. I think I'm very comfortable putting it at 4.4.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Like it's as a movie, it's not great. I always rate things high because I like the movie, like 99.9% of the time. So I really, really like this movie. If I'm going purely off of nostalgia, it's like a fucking 10. But like,
Yeah, that's
but the movie and what it is, I give it a 4.4 just because like, yeah, it had its
a kid's
things.
movie.
It's a kids movie, like whatever. But
What's that thing Patrick Williams says about Star Wars?
You're not watching it right.
He goes, don't forget we're talking about, and he holds up a sign that says, a kids movie about space wizards. Just keep that in mind.
made to
Yeah.
sell toys.
yeah, but I thought it was great. I loved it.
Next is either Ali or Josh.
For me, it was I really loved it. I love Pokemon,
It's a 1,
but it's a 1. No,
No Batman.
no Batman, so that takes it down a few points.
so it's negative.
So it's -3 now. For me, it's a 3.9. I couldn't quite have it break the 4 ceiling for me because that's a special place.
It's right here for you.
That's
baby.
where I
It's
live.
And like
In the
like you
forest.
said,
In
if
the
I
fours.
if I and I was trying to be as objective as I could, looking at it as a film, not looking at it as the property that is one of my favorite like
your childhood
franchises.
stuff.
Right.
Yeah, so
Trying to remove
removing that
the
from
rose-tinted
it,
glasses. Yeah.
then a responsible 3.9.
I might go to
A responsible.
I also want to say I'm at
3.9.
3.7,
Wow.
but now like thinking about how it is also a kids movie, I might bump it up to a 3.8. But also
I'm going to say there's a lot
There's a
of things
few
that
things you can
we've talked
forgive.
about other kids movies, and this one's the most critical we've been about it.
yeah.
Yeah, because we love it.
Because it means
Because we
so
want
much
it.
to us.
Because it had. Yeah. Well, I think to your point, like
Yeah, I'll say
it
3.9.
has, like it already went above
Changed mine.
expectations.
Yeah.
In this respect, and then like the next expectation that we have for it now is for it to be a better, a better story.
Yeah.
With it. So
Okay.
I
I
honestly
think
think
that's an achievement.
my score would be lower because I was like, in my
Negative
head, I was going like,
5.
if there, no. If there weren't any Pokemon in it and I was looking at this purely just as a movie, I was like, well, you can't take the Pokemon out of it.
No.
Because that's what the movie is about. So I was like,
That's
yeah,
half
no,
the
I don't want
movie.
to change
But the thing
anything.
is, as well as like what
Fair.
baggage do you come in when you bring Pokemon in?
Yeah.
Like what is Pokemon mean?
Tons.
But it's kind of like
Means great baggage.
like, and that's the thing. That's why I would like compare it to Zootopia. Zootopia is not about animals and save animals. It's about racism.
right.
Like this isn't about racism between Pokemon. This is about harmony between Pokemon and humans,
Yeah.
and that's a conservation piece. And so
That's a good point.
Zootopia doesn't have conservation pieces in there. They have mice who are gangsters. So it's like there's 2 different arguments to have. So it's like yeah, it's the same caper story, but it's like the arguments that you're bringing in with the subject matter is 2 different things. If we took out Pokemon and it was just a who killed my dad, we wouldn't see Mewtwo in the beginning. We'd just see a masked shooter. So we
Right.
wouldn't know who the fuck that was, but we see it because it's Mewtwo.
Guys,
Right.
So
cool visual effects shot.
those are those differences.
Yeah.
Josh?
Hologram?
2.
So
Everything's
you guys
holographic
know
on this
how hard it is for me, but it's a 3.5.
That's fine. There's no.
You
I
did ground-
wrote that.
you did
That
ground-
is what I put it.
I'm
Put
sorry.
it down.
What?
There's no
That is,
baggage.
like one of the higher like numbers. We were like so hard.
Well, you guys
I know,
know.
I get it.
I usually Caitlin and I are on the same veil of like, hey, I like the thing
Well,
most
you're
of the
grump.
time.
Are you happy about that? I'm kidding.
Oh no. It's okay, buddy. It's okay.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
okay to be
Hey,
the grump.
hey, if you're gonna rate it low, be ready to go.
And be ready to blow.
Don't worry.
My
When
mind.
there's
So congratulations.
Detective.
Grump of the week. Congratulations.
Yay!
Hey, congratulations. You hate the movie that I like.
Just kiss his hand.
I'm
You're
kidding.
welcome. You're welcome.
0.5
below
I'm
you.
kidding. I'm kidding. I do want to say one thing real quick. None of you guys ever played Pokemon Rescue Team, right?
Yeah.
So you played it.
Yeah.
I think that's where they should go with the franchise.
I didn't play it.
So
What is it?
Pokemon Rescue Team is a Game Boy, so it's a mobile game, And what happens, a kid who's an asshole to Pokemon, not asshole to Pokemon, he's an asshole to everybody.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about Pokemon, but he doesn't, bully them. But he does a dumb thing, and this is part of his lesson. He grabs a Ninetales tail. And what happens, he gets turned into a Pokemon.
Oh, damn.
And then he goes on an adventure with Pokemon. And so what I would
What
love
does
to
he
do,
turn into?
he turns to whatever you choose. You could turn to a Pikachu, a Charizard, a Charmander, a Squirtle, or a Bulbasaur.
Yeah.
Obviously, you
Ah.
choose the right one, Charmander.
Yeah.
But
Duh.
actually, all decisions are equal. They're all welcome here.
Squirrel all day.
But the thing is, you do that story, right? But then you make it where he had friends, like little kid friends, and still
Okay.
do the PG route.
Yeah.
And then he makes new friends with Pokemon. And then on the same time, his friends are looking for him, and he's trying to find a way to not become a Pokemon.
That'd be dope.
And he has to choose, like, do I choose my human friends or my Pokemon friends? But then at the end, he becomes a human again, and then he makes those Pokemon his partner.
Yeah, I dig it. They should do that.
That's what they should go
That'd
with.
be cool.
And that's
like
how you
that.
get that human, that anthropomorphic
Yeah.
Pokemon thing going on. Because you can't put Ryan Reynolds back on Pikachu.
No.
No. Well, you
cannot.
could.
I just wrote a
But
fucking
then-
movie, Warner
So you
Brothers.
mean-
Is there a lot of battles and stuff in that?
You battle Pokemon all the time.
I mean, the
And
Sold.
most
Sold.
important thing I've heard of out of this is that Ninetales is going to get animated.
And the
Yeah.
thing is, the legendary
That's all I
Pokemon
want.
are like not informants, but they're kind of like godfathers of certain areas. So they're like, you have to go through here to like find your
I
way.
would love to
that.
see more legendary Pokemon.
I always joke that my cat thinks that she looks like Ninetales. Like anytime she sees it, she goes, "It's me." My cat.
That's what she says in English to you out loud?
My cat? Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't your
My
cats
dogs talk to
Yeah.
me.
See? Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Really? Hey,
Anyway,
You have to open yourself up to
thanks
it.
for watching. What was your rating? Did you know that Josh was going to be the grump of the
Sorry
episode?
about that.
I
did.
didn't.
I voted.
I did vote for him. I guess I did know.
Yeah, you did. You did though.
awesome. We need to get a grump crown.
We need to
Or
stop
grump
doing
hat.
that.
something.
I
That's what we
actually,
need to stop
I
doing.
have someone shout out to my roommate Rashid who might be building
Shout out.
something, and I said, if it's anything less than a sash, because I want it to be like prom,
Oh my
so you can wear it
gosh.
around.
We need
There
a
you go.
crown.
Crown.
No, you can make your own crown then.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm doing something. Don't shit on the thing that's come for free.
Wow.
got a
So
good
not
point.
what that was.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening. I feel complete.
I
Yeah.
feel complete.
I feel complete.
I'm about to complete.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh gosh.
What's your
Every
favorite
time.
Pokemon?
Who's
Yeah,
your favorite Pokemon? Who
Tell
do you
us.
want to see in the
Who's
next
that
one?
Pokemon?
Who's that
It's
Pokemon for you?
Pikachu.
Can you do the Poke
Clefairy.
Rap?
God damn it.
You can hit us up
Sorry.
on social media
That had to
or on
happen.
Discord. How can they get access to the Discord, Josh?
You can get access to Discord through our Patreon.
Patreon.
Patreon. It's hopping.
It's a new
all the
Pokemon.
time.
Who's that Patreon?
Uh-huh.
Who's that
Discord.
Patreon? But yeah,
This is what makes the transcriptions hard.
nerdon.io/Patreon. There's all sorts of information there that you can check it out. Our website is nerdon.tv. It basically has all the information there. So if you're new to Nerdon and you want to know more about Nerdon, you can go to nerdon.tv.
Explore
get
the
all of
world
it.
outside of the podcast.
Yeah, you can adventure into YouTube, social media, like Ollie was saying, pretty much everywhere except for Twitch is nerdon.tv. Is Nerdon TV. So
No,
if
it's
you
not.
search,
That's just Nerd On.
it's just nerd.
Go to
No,
Nerd
I was
On.
saying Twitch is Nerdon, but
Okay.
everything else is Nerdon TV.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Thanks. I'm gonna wait while they show them.
And we're
all.
just gonna
You
keep
guys are
going.
having marital
Yeah.
issues over there.
So, on that, thank you so much for listening. You know the drill. As always,
Pokemon.
Nerd On. So close.
Nerd On.